we're returning an int down here. We have an int input given the triangle of consecutive odd numbers. How would I do this? I'll probably think about this for a little bit and then cut all the empty space until I've gotten an idea of what to do. Okay, I'm just looking at how to first figure out the triangle, but looks like there's a pattern here that I could use for my initial number. So if I want the fourth row, 2, 4, 6. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is just set the edge case, or the base case, that the input is 1. So if n equals 1, then we will just return 1 and call it a day. Else, we're going to do some looping through this triangle. So I'm noticing that to get to the first number in each row, let's call it row. Let's do int row width, and we'll call the row width to be. Do I need to set it to anything in the beginning? Row width of 1. I think it would be more confusing to make it 0. So we'll do int row width equals 1, and we're going to increment that later in this code. So for every... Oh wait, so if I want to get to the 5th row, let's say, the 5th row... Oh wait. Well, to make this a lot less complicated, the 3rd row has a width of 3, the 4th row has a width of 4, so I can just manipulate the width based off the input here. There's no need to get so complicated for something so easy. So what I need to do is find the first number on the left. So to find the first number on the left, I just add 2 to 1. And then if that's not it, if it's a third, I add 2 plus 2. So we need let's call it integer row hopper, and we'll set it equal to 2 because that's the first hop we do is 2. So if I need to get to the 2nd row, so let's say for int I equals 0, I is less than, I just need to get to the 2nd row, but I'm only doing this once because I'm always going to start at 1, so we'll say I is less than n minus 1, I plus plus. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, what's this? Okay, we want int left most num, do not need to declare it, so leftmost num, it should be 1, and then leftmost num is going to be plus equals, so 1 plus equals row hopper, which is 2 initially, so this, for getting the second row, I equals 0, I less than n minus 1, so this is just going to run one time if the input is 2. We'll take leftmost number, which begins as 1, which makes sense starting on the first row, plus row hopper, which starts at 2, which will get us 3. So leftmost number will be 3, ready for code down here. And then what we'll do is row hopper gets incremented by 2. So if we're going to the third row, this would be 2, and this would run twice. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Row hopper plus equals 2. This turns into 4. This runs again. Plus 4 is 7. So this should now work for indexing into the leftmost number. And then we need to loop one more time. And this should be the easy part. We just need to get the sums here. So why don't we do this? We'll do int sum equals 0, and for int I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, and what we're going to do is set the sum equal to leftmost number, so sum plus equals leftmost num, and then we need to increase leftmost num. Leftmost num gets increased by 2 to get to the next odd number, so plus equals 2. Let's just double check that works. So if we needed to get to the third row, we already know this would work, and then the sum of the third row is 7 plus 9 plus 11, so 27. So if I equals 3, let's just say, we'll do this so we can tell, 0, 1, 2, this will run 3 times, so sum plus equals leftmost num, which we know will be 7, and then that gets turned into 9. We get to loop second iteration, I equals 1. Sum becomes 9 plus 7, and then turns into 11. Then 2, sum plus 11. Yep. And then that gets turned into 13, but it doesn't matter now because the loop will stop after that. Okay. Reset that. Reset that. Return sum. And I want to double check the beginning of this code. Do I even need the base case? Let's see. Oh, I don't know. I don't see any reason not to keep it. Let's just send that. Okay, that looks good. Let's see how it looks. Wow, okay. Yeah, this is looking more my style here.